Hello, Mike. Can you hear me? Yo. If you're saying something, I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can't hear you.
You can't hear me.
Can't hear you.
1 second.
Let's just.
Oh no, because here.
Hey, what's up, man?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Yeah. All right. How about? Because I was going to screen record. I mean, share some things. So share my screen. So how about mute the Discord, talk on the phone, the FaceTime audio, and then you can watch the screen.
Sure.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me mute myself. Yeah. What's up, man? It's been a long time. You look the exact same. That is so interesting.
It's been a minute, man. Yeah.
Where are you at these days?
I'm out in Silicon Valley right now.
What building are you in? It looks like something like Stanford building or some shit.
No, this is the Los Altos Community Center.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, no, but it's really nice center though. It's like a community center.
Nice.
You, where did you just travel to?
I went out for like a work trip to Menlo Park, and then went to.
Oh, you were just out here, man. Dang, we could have linked up.
And then I was just there for like 2 days, and then I went to Michigan for my little brother's graduation. I was there for a little bit. But,
Oh, he graduated college.
yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I forgot. I feel like he was in at Michigan 20 years ago already. I thought he had already graduated.
Yeah, he did an extra year, so it took him a little longer. But,
Yeah. My little brother graduated high school like about a year ago, so I was in Texas for that. Yeah, but
nice. Have you just been staying in the Bay, like basically this whole time, or did you go to any other places for a bit?
I've been in and out, so meaning I was here just intermittently. You feel me? I was just bouncing around really. But no, I've been here for about a year right now, though. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
And wait, you're in NYC right now?
Yeah, I'm still in New York.
Wait, you work like from home?
It's like hybrid, but I also live right next door to the office, so it's like it's not a bad commute. But technically today they gave us like the day off, so yeah, let's do.
Where where is the Meta NYC office?
There's several of them. One of them is by Madison. Or two of them are by Madison Square Garden, and one of them is in NoHo. If you know where that is, it's like just a little bit above Soho, but
Yeah.
that's where the one that I like to go to is. It's just a short walk.
Where did you and AJ meet at?
Just some random coffee shop, I think.
Yeah. What? That's so funny because I've never met him in person. Yeah, so that's just funny.
He seemed like a character. He's an interesting guy. He said he made a lot of money in crypto, and he's like teaching kids AI and all kinds of stuff. But yeah,
Yeah, no, I kind of like we kind of like split paths and went separate ways on things because yeah, I mean he is a character, that's for sure. Like he's a really smart guy, but yeah, definitely a character. Anyway, though, but that's cool. How do you like working at Meta though? Like that's that's a much different culture than Microsoft, huh?
yeah, it's a very different culture at Microsoft. I'll be honest, I really did not like working at Instagram. Just
Oh,
really,
you worked at
really,
Instagram?
I did for the first year, and then I switched to working on Llama on like the research side. So I like that
I
a lot.
I love Llama.
Um, so that's what I'm doing now, and it's super fun. I really enjoy it because like, I still whatever I'm thinking of. I got to do my own thing again at some point, but just getting a chance to work on Llama, I feel like I want to stay like for a while and just do that a bit. So really enjoying it. But Instagram, shit sucked, man.
What were you doing like recommendation algorithms? I mean,
Yes, comment recommendation with like a focus on making the comments like reducing bullying and stuff. And it's like a good project in theory, but just it's so difficult to do anything because of all the politics and bureaucracy at Instagram. It's like Instagram, the thing you're trying to do, the actual technical aspect of it might be very mundane, might take like 2 hours of work or something, but you end up spending 3 months to do it just because it's so entrenched in bureaucracy and abstraction. So it kind of becomes more like almost like a PM or like some
yeah.
kind of negotiator job. And at Llama, you actually do like the difficult technical work is like what you spend your day doing.
Which you
So
prefer?
yeah.
You know what's so funny is that now that I engineer, a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people don't know that I engineer, so they don't understand how I spend my time. But I just remember back in the day, I'd be like, "How the fuck this guy spend his time?" Because like I would text you, and then you would pop up like hours later. I'm like, I didn't have a visualization on like how you actually, you
Yeah, now
know.
you know, man. You made a lot of progress in that regard.
Well, it's funny because I just figured now it's easier than ever to learn it, and then also not only is it easier than ever to learn it, it's easier than ever to really do state of the art sort of thing. So I feel like if you're willing to kind of brave that, then um, you can only miss out on the opportunity by not doing it. So now is the time to do it, if any. You get what I mean? So I just figured I might as well.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's an amazing tool. Like I use it every day. Try to write as much code with AI as possible.
If Yeah, life would have been so much different if we had that type of thing back in the day. But yeah, can you see my screen?
Let's see. Let me go back to the voice chat. I was looking at your other channels. Yeah, I can see your screen now.
Oh yeah, no. All of the main stuff I just used this Discord. So I had like I ran like ads on LinkedIn for AI engineers, but I ran them in Singapore. So then
Yeah.
um I had like 600 applications. And I basically just took the top ones and I reached out to them and told them I wanted to interview them. So then when I was interviewing them, I just thought two birds, one stone. I can get them all in a Discord channel at the same time. So I told them we do interviews inside of the voice channel. So all of the main messages are actually if you go to that's why I was saying I'll show you something interesting. If you go to Flash interview and then just go to messages like underneath us in the voice channels, you'll see like I had them write out all their answers and I compiled it into like a database. But I was just getting insights on their perspective of AI and things from, just Singapore people. They're just Asian people, Indian people, and things like that, like, who went to school in Singapore, they work in Singapore, live in Singapore, whatever. But yeah, hold on.
So were you interviewing them like to work with you, or were you just kind of
Yeah,
interesting in
no,
chatting with them?
I was trying to find certain engineering talent for. At the time, I was working on the crowd-based product, so that was I reached out to you about that back in when I first started working on it,
Yeah.
but I had already finished it basically, but I was just looking for people who wanted to kind of brave that project, and a lot of them were actually interested in what the promise of it was. So I didn't end up hiring anyone. I ended up I was going to bring on a professor from the National University of Singapore. He was just a math professor, but I ended up not bringing him on. I didn't bring any of them on because a lot of them really were still students and things, or even the ones that were in the workforce. Um, they just weren't the right fit. But I, they're all obviously very smart in things. I just feel at the current stage that I was at, it didn't make sense to try to arrange any equity agreements with any of them or anything. But hold on, I'm trying to show you some of these things. Right now, I'm working on different things though. I'm working on a suite of tools though for video editing, but that's mainly because I'm about to get a lot like heavily back into music. So I'm actually also working on the AI artist version of myself and things like that too.
Oh, that's dope, man. That's super cool.
That is fucking hard actually, but I've gotten like pretty far in the data processing part of it all. But um, I'm building on top of an open source Microsoft repository. Microsoft had it's called Microsoft Music. So the Asia Research Division of Microsoft, they have like an open source project, which is like an end to end pipeline for music generation and music analysis and things like that. So
Yeah. Are you doing like voice cloning of your voice or something like that?
it's a little bit more complex than just simple cloning. It's like actually encoding kind of the artist's identity into the model and then fine tuning the model. So like
Yeah.
because the pipeline has different hierarchy, like there's different stages to the hierarchy. So basically there's like the lyric generation component, there's like the melody generation component, and all sorts of things. And basically you have to do like joint distribution meshing to make sure that certain things align with each other. So it's actually quite complex, meaning yeah, they have like those cloning sort of tools out there, but this is not that. This is a bit more complex. Yeah, it's actually pretty fucking deep. But they have very thorough repositories, and I just feed the repository readmes and things to like Grok or ChatGPT or Cloud or something, and then I let it bring me back information. I read over them and things, and then I take my time with it. I don't just rush into like trying to just.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you a couple. Maybe you've seen them, but there's a couple newer kind of cutting edge voice cloning models you might be able to combine with this or make it like a step in your pipeline. Just because it looks like most of the last updates are from a couple of years ago, so it probably doesn't have the latest kind of
Right.
approach in it. So, but maybe you can like plug and play these.
Cool. The yeah, Meta has like audio craft too. So they have like a music generation open source tool. It's just the only reason I was going with the Microsoft tool is because they've kind of assumed the heavy load of compute and the ability to output like longer context songs. So you can output like multiple minutes of audio. So that's just the benefit they have over everybody else right now.
That's very cool. I would feel like you probably have to still like, do some work after, like, kind of generate something and then work on it in a traditional music software or whatever. You think it's good enough to just spit out the complete
Well,
complete product?
it depends on how the pipeline is curated, I think. I mean, it's like really the details of it all. And then there's obviously different customization opportunities. I was actually thinking about fine tuning a llama model for the lyric generation because I think llama would be pretty good at lyric generation for some reason. Like I think it would be better than like Google Gemini or something. I just I can't believe in you guys over at Meta that way. I didn't know you were working on llama, man. But I think that Meta is pretty genius at I don't know, they can encode kind of like more novelty and fun and cool concepts than a lot of these other hyperscalers. I think you get what I mean. Where I think Mark kind of lets people focus on this will be novel for content creators, whereas other people are like just focused on being at the state of the art for maybe developers and things. And I think that idea, that culture of building for content creators, makes like products that can kind of output more creative things. Well, from what I've seen from Meta so far, I think Llama is. I used Llama 3.1 for a long time, um, and it was the best at coding to me for a while. I was using it in what was it? Perplexity Labs. Perplexity has like perplexity.labs. So then they don't have the option anymore, but you used to be able to go through the different models that were the top models at the time, and then you can go to the Llama model, and it was so good at coding. It had like a long output context window. It would output like it could output like 3 to 5,000 line scripts. But yeah. Anyway,
The
though,
the
wait,
thing I've been working on is the like natural voice for Llama 4. It's like this full duplex experimental audio.
yeah,
You a link to it. It's not it's only available here right now, but hopefully there's more to come with that pretty soon.
where are you sending these messages? Discord
Oh,
or?
I just pinged you in on Discord. Yeah, just go to like your if you right click on me and click message, it should come up.
Yeah, hold on. Message, and then gotcha. Fish audio. Yeah, he loves fish. That's funny.
Coincidentally, it happens to be finished.
Yeah, no, that's pretty funny. But so did you run into Zuck when you came to Menlo?
People they were trying to show me his office, and I think he was in there taking a meeting. But we didn't get to talk to him.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. You feel like you're moving up pretty fast though, in terms of like, do you feel like where you feel like you rank in skill and things like that? Do you feel like you can kind of like assume more responsibility soon because you've you've been working on this stuff for a long time at scale and you're pretty young. So I feel like even though you didn't have primarily, I know I remember you said you didn't have the research background primarily, but I mean, you had so much knowledge in just um, working on scale. I feel experience at scale for your age. Do you feel like that's giving you an advantage?
Maybe a little bit. I mean, I do think I'm I'm not super interested in trying to go like a PM kind of leadership role. I mean, if something like that was offered to me, then I'd go for it. But the dream is still to do my own thing.
Yeah.
So at these companies, you kind of climb up the ranks as an engineer and get like higher and higher. So I'm very happy that I've kind of made it into a research organization, kind of through like a side door where I didn't go to grad school at all.
Yeah.
So very psyched for that. But the dream is still to do my own thing, hopefully.
Is your salary better than a Microsoft salary? Because
It's
because
definitely better than the Microsoft salary.
because
Yeah.
AI scaled up like right.
Yeah, the Microsoft, I think the kind of implicit agreement is like you don't get paid as much, but you don't have to work as hard. But although my friend at Microsoft was telling me they've started doing pips and stuff like that, so maybe Microsoft is different these days. I've been there for 3 years or so now.
Yeah, which is crazy because you were the last loyal technology worker in the world. You were for your age range. There was nobody that was working at the company like singularly without switching jobs.
Yeah, I'd like. I mean, when the stock ran out, like right the same a couple of months before I left to try the startup, so it kind of lined up nicely.
Yeah. No, but here's some of the stuff I've been working on, man. This is like very bare bones, abstract concepts. These are all just different chunks. You can still see my screen, right?
So,
Huh?
yeah, I can.
Oh yeah, but this is like I basically took like the sports video editing stuff which was based on influence of pose estimation and things like that. I turned it into a way to edit like music video clips together and things like that. So I can just feed the video. I can feed various clips and things like that, and then I can feed it the audio and stuff like that.
It feel like religion
And
the way it's evolving.
it'll just start to
It feel like
jump through and
religion the way
segment
that
different
they
clips. So
all
this is very
in.
bare
It
bones.
feeling like Jesus the way
But
that they call
this was the initial experiments of this particular segment of the pipeline. It basically just goes through video, looks for different clips based on different heuristics, and once it does that, it'll kind of isolate them, put them together, switch them together in continuity. The same way that the basketball stuff is supposed to work, etc., etc. It's the same thing, but it's basically trying to align it with different sounds and music and things like that. That video is actually in Menlo Park, funny enough, right there. So that was like the first in the pipeline. That was like the first thing I started working on. With that, it's called this Vidius. So hold on. This was the second thing in the pipeline. If this works, I mean, I have like 5 versions of this particular module, so then at least 2 of them will work right now. But let me see. No, this one's not the right one. My bad. So you're working on speech related things though.
Speech, yeah.
That is so uncanny. So that's good that we got on this call. I will check out those speech things that you just mentioned.
So those are just TTS files, but I think you can do some kind of fine tuning on them. I haven't looked too deeply into them, but you might find it interesting.
While that's loading, let me see. Oh, I think it might. Media pipe not found. Oh, I didn't activate the environment. Loading. You still hang out with Ian?
I see him once in a while. I don't see him that often.
Oh, hold on. All of them aren't working on this one. Here, I'll show you a couple from this script and then I'll switch script. So this is like automatic color grading. So look, check this out. I'm gonna mix this with what I just showed you, the videos, which is basically the clip selection and assortment, right? So the curation of the clips. Then you got the automated effects roulette. So this is Hollywood level color grading, basically using these files called .cube. So they're lookup tables. They're the RGB lookup tables that basically automate the process of converting the RGB values to these particular color grading scenarios from these very popular movies. So it's about 70 of them that I have in the effects roulette, and it'll automatically just put together different color grading for me, etc., etc. This is just like the pipeline for my artistry, man. So I was just thinking, if I get into music, my benefit right now is I can leverage kind of things that other people can't leverage because I can abstract a lot of that manual effort just being smarter. Whereas, it's kind of hard for people to do fast turnaround times on like say 100 videos or something like that, but I can just basically record like a whole bunch of content and then feed it to this AI and then it'll just do stuff for me. So that's kind of the idea behind it is increased production and output. So 1 second, because all of these scripts are different. That's just the motion blur. So having the motion blur. I try to get Sam into it. So the meta masking, the auto-generating masking of Sam. This is just video matting. So basically to really do the different green screen type of things and things like that. There's another variation of it that has all of the effects will load. 1 second. I think that was because I didn't activate the virtual environment. So some of them didn't load. Let's see. Yeah, this one. So this is also some different color grading, um, chromatic aberration, doing just different facial meshing and things. It's just a cool effect that I think a lot of people don't have. Whereas it's just the most basic. It's just literally facial landmarking, and then like as a music video and things, it just looks like a. I showed somebody and they're like, "Man, you got these futuristic effects. I haven't seen that one." They thought it was like an Instagram filter. So it's just funny. And then basically the same thing, but the background is a dynamic. Every time I move, it'll just change colors and it'll just keep rotating through. And then I'm going by Black Boy Zeus, so I actually got this golden aura, which I love that effect. And then doing different variants of lightning and things like that. So that's the effects roulette that'll go into sort of that automated stitching together of things. So I'll combine those two, and basically it should be able to select clips. And then it's very complex because I'm trying to see ways to automate the whole process of the video editing. So I don't want to have to really get in there and touch anything. I want it to kind of just automatically output very um, industry grade uh, videos in which it selected the right clips, the right effects and things sarcastically, and then it also just made it look like someone really edited it. So that's a couple of the things that I have, and then also these are some outputs. I'm also working toward some neural style transfer stuff. So I think that's really still. And you were the one who ever even taught me about NST. So, but which has come a long way, by the way. But I think that's actually still an underserved frontier is the NST and the intersection of video. I think that still has tremendous capability. I mean, potential for the sort of things that content creators could do. But I think that a lot of people haven't really, right? Where I've seen a couple of the state of the art models right now that I've seen that work on video, the most, the highest, the largest data set one was trained on was like 80,000 portraits, and that was by Google on TensorFlow model. So a lot of the smaller models that Grok meant to reference that state of the art right now, when I did a deep search, um, it basically found little repositories in which the data sets that they trained on were, I mean, realistically, it was like a minute data set. You get what I'm saying? It wasn't like no one built a neural style transfer repository, which you might be able to do this and get some money out of your bosses, but no one's built like a neural style transfer model that's been trained on like 1 million videos or anything like that, like not even research. I haven't seen that. So there hasn't been someone that's taken 1 million videos of various styles, like maybe anime, etc. And I know we talked about that sort of thing back in the day, but and given someone the ability to basically convert and rotate through things like how I was just showing the effects in a carousel, well, that doesn't exist yet, which if you really think about it, it should by now, but that's why I think that's funny. Because AI, even though it's really big right now, right, it's not even really, it's still infantile. There, because you were at the state of the art, and you ruined my life for that. Because you were at the forefront, you gave me advantage of the forefront. So by being in the forefront in 2019, I just thought that everybody had that information. I wasn't aware to how esoteric it was. So then I didn't realize that until the AI boom happened. And then I was like, oh, even if I wait a few years, I'm still in the top percentile of people on earth in terms of being aware of the future. So obviously a lot more people have joined the train and the bandwagon now, but it's just we're still pretty early in the life cycle of it all, I think. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. It surprises me. I mean, there's coworkers of mine, super smart researchers and whatnot. They don't even know what cursor is. Like, they don't use AI for coding. Like, there's a large sector of the population still kind of not adopted a lot of this stuff. So there's still time.
Yeah. You use Cursor?
I don't use Cursor at work. We have an internal equivalent of it, but I use Cursor when I'm doing like other projects.
Yeah,
For those lately.
yeah, no, that's what I've been using too. This is just the green screen, so I was just mixing some of those videos with the effects, and then I just put like a Gucci fashion show in the back, and then this thing was like if I feel myself rapping at like a Gucci fashion show. So, um, some of the harder bottlenecks and all of this is sort of the audio portion right now because I've been experimenting. I've been using like Sidekick Video, FFmpeg, or MoviePie, and right now I just think that even those tools are still limited, and there's a lot of opportunity for improvement. I'm just building a foundation right now, and then I will be looking to bring people to kind of work on these things and turn them into a singular application, singular unified APIs, and things like that. But right now, I'm just working on the different components, making sure that all of them work before I start trying to stitch it all together into like an end-to-end pipeline. So that's why I was getting some feedback on you. Whereas, yeah, I've gotten way better, but still, I haven't worked on anything at like scale yet. Meaning, I haven't built something where 100 million people use it or something like that. Your first job was really working on Xbox. So
But I wouldn't worry about scale really if you're trying to make something like this. It's like they used to say at YC, like you want one person to love it, and it's better than like more people kind of
yeah,
being okay. You want one person to love it, and if you ever have to worry about scale, that's like a champagne problem for whoever they.
yeah. Check this out. This is like one video game inside of another video game. So this is a video game in the background. That's Wukong, the Monkey King, whatever that game is called. That's just gameplay footage of that. And this is just a screen recording of this game I play called Zapato, which is like a mobile and a desktop game. But basically, you can buy like virtual fashion in it that's sponsored by like real brands and things or sell fashion. That's you're in the Ultra Brain AI Discord. That's my avatar wearing like Ultra Brain AI sweatsuit that I made with the same logo. But yeah, so basically, I was just exploring ways to it's like green screen kind of, but basically I take video matting and then um, I mat the subject so it's the same as when the background changes on Zoom, etc., or whatever, and then I just insert a video rather than a static image or a still image, and then I think that just makes for interesting. And then that same one that was just the background, this is that at the foreground at the Gucci show rather than it being the background. So I just thought it's like kind of interesting. It's almost like augmented reality, but obviously it's just a video and a video. So there's not like a high manipulation ability for how we can, move things around the grid or anything like that. But it was just experimentation on content creation. I think that right now, a lot of these things, um, I'm just trying to make things that will be beneficial to me if I'm going to create content. So that's what I'm kind of going for.
It's the best way to do it, man. It's like you solve your own problem, and you know it's an actual problem.
Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much the bulk of things, man. And then I guess the last thing I'll show is this was the Microsoft music stuff, but this is just like my songs as data and the representation, so the spectrograms, etc. And then the way that you kind of break down everything into different metadata, etc. So that's taking a lot. Um, is really getting through all of that data, but yeah, no, that's why I wanted to get in touch with you and things, and just start planting that seed because realistically, um, I would love to work on you. I mean, and it might not even be this, but I would love to work with you again on something where I actually see what it's like to engineer together rather than how it was before. Which obviously I could still play like doing people's person type of person, but I'm just interested in actually building something with somebody, and that's why I had to let go of AJ really, which was he would always say, yeah, I'm gonna start getting into put my hands on code, and like he would say things like that and stuff like that. But he always off doing something else instead, and I don't blame him, and I'm not gonna be mad at that. But you know, for me, you and I was just telling my dad this yesterday about you. That's so you met my aunt when we were in Detroit that one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my dad's sister. So I was telling my dad yesterday. I introduced you guys once, and I was like, yeah, I always respect Mike because he's the only person that knows how far I've come. He's the only one that can benchmark it, like out of everybody. That's why I always value you, man, because or why I even like to share things with you or anything like that, which I don't share things with everyone, but I'm proud of myself. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people don't really realize that, but I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, I really took initiative. So, yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I think in the near term, I'm not going to be working on anything of my own.
Yeah, no,
You
I
never
already
know,
knew
like
you were going to
after
say that.
some
That's
time.
what I also told my dad you were going to say that.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying the llama stuff right now.
You said you're enjoying a lot of stuff.
The llama stuff.
Oh, the llama. Yeah, no, that is something that you should really focus your efforts on right now because that experience will scale well. Where, working on the llama models might even be more beneficial than working on your own thing right now, just because you'll have that relative experience, you have that compute budget, and you'll have the credential, and then later when you're working on your own thing, you've already worked on something like llama. That experience scales well. So
Yeah, I've done Vision before at Microsoft, and I did like text at various places. I've never really done anything with speech, so I'm learning all about speech now. But yeah, man, I'm happy that you bounce ideas off me. Like, ask questions. I can try to share your useful resources and whatnot. So I'm happy to help in that regard. But I don't think at this point I'm going to be striking out on my on a new project.
yeah, no, I wasn't trying to recruit you on this call. Like I said, I was just planting a seed, but it's just, yeah, right now, I want to work on the things like in my own hands and things, but
Yeah,
I was just saying for future
for
reference,
sure, man.
definitely.
I got you.
Yeah. All right, but I'll let you go. But before that, I guess let me ask you, what is the hardest thing about sort of the speech stuff that you're working on right now, and where do you see opportunities that you uniquely can solve problems in that space?
I think the hardest thing at a high level is just that there's so much subjective evaluation that goes into this. Like when you're operating in text, you just have this. You just spit out the text. That's all there is to it. It's just this basic, simple modality. But with speech, there's all these different axes of like, well, yeah, what is the corresponding text? But also, are they saying it too fast, too loud, too quiet? Is their voice like sounding like a robot? Or there's all these other things that are. It's not really a great subjective way to evaluate them. So I think that makes a lot of things a
Oh,
lot harder to do.
let me pause and interject right there. You should check out um, the Microsoft Music repository then, and just feed all of the READMEs to different AIs and get back, because some of the problems that they solved were relative to that, where they like do like you have to get like a phoneme, I think it's called. You know what that is?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And then, but they've kind of stitched together a lot of research, and it's just the Microsoft Asia division. So there's some smart Asians. So I mean, it's obviously just a good resource to build your knowledge based on your knowledge graph.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it. So a lot of my colleagues came from Microsoft Research, so maybe let me see the paper for this. Maybe I know some of these guys. But yeah, I'll definitely check it out. Thank you.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then the second question was, where do you see the opportunity to uniquely solve problems, like as personally, like that you think you as an individual are able to contribute in this exact domain? Why are you the person to be working on this?
It's a good question. So I've been thinking a little bit about that. I think that there are going to be some some like developer facing product opportunities in speech coming up, and it could be something. I mean, I think a lot of the people I work with have unique insight into this stuff. Versus if you do something like that, something that's a little unclear, it's like who your customer is going to be. Is it just going to be like the hyperscalers only? You have like 4 customers, or are there going to be this proliferation of small speech labs? Like, would you have maybe like 20 customers, but the total number of like market participants in this, I think, would be quite small. Then when we get to when things move from research into like productionized, then it becomes just a thing where like, oh, it's an API like ChatGPT, anyone can do it, and then there's going to be like a set of other problems that come out there. So there might be opportunity there. I'm not sure if I want to do like a developer-facing product, but there's definitely going to be some opportunity in there. And then, I mean, consumer-facing, it's very controversial. I think a lot of the consumer use cases may be kind of like morally uncomfortable. So, because I mean, there's going to be ad girlfriends, and that's going to be the biggest one for sure.
Yeah.
But
I agree with that.
I think it's
I know what you mean.
potentially a really bad thing.
It's cringe.
Like digital heroin. It's like just a horrible thing for the world. But I mean, maybe that's my version of being the old man who doesn't like video games. Maybe in 100 years everyone will have it. So a lot of these things, I think there's a kind of a moral philosophical angle that I need to think about. That is because it's something that could help the world. Is a really bad thing for the world. Because there's some weird positive angles to AI girlfriends as well. So I think social media, TikTok, Instagram, have kind of screwed up a lot of the ways that humans work, and some of these things might actually be able to fix that in ways. But I don't know. It's all kind of like things that I've been thinking about, but I'm not sure if I'd want to participate in products like that. But definitely, that's an opportunity on the consumer side. It's going to be huge, especially with the voice. It's going to be just printing money. But
we share a lot of values regarding all of that for sure, and that is
the other one I've thought a lot about is consumer product. The problem that I just absolutely hate. Like, I'll give you an example of like today I got a notice from a debt collector. To pay a bill, and the reason that it went to a debt collector was because I just lacked the patience to spend like 20 minutes on the billing phone call to pay it the right way, and I just kept not doing it, and then it went to the debt collector. Well, for me, I would rather spend 2 minutes on the debt collector website than 20 minutes on the dumbass billing phone line. So, and it's actually probably like the 7th time I've done this. I'm really just a lazy motherfucker when it comes to these things. But the bigger, it's just to exemplify the bigger product idea is I don't want to ever talk on an automated phone line ever. I would love to never do that again in my life. So a voice app is you can just text it and say like, hey, make me an appointment for this and that. And then it does all the voice stuff for you. And because a very easy way to do this is on the business side. Because the business side, there's no edge cases. It's all very simple. The business is like an insurance underwriter, and then you can hard code a lot of the stuff, and it never has to interact with consumers. And this one is already getting very saturated. There's a lot of big startups that have already done this. The moment that ChatGPT kind of came out, those people jumped on this. But the consumer side is much harder and much more underexplored because you got to handle a whole lot of edge cases to even have a basic product. There's no control over it. And so I think as we get more advanced speech, we're going to see these things coming out. The one concern I have about this idea is that this seems like a very, very obvious thing for like GPT-7 to just do out of the box, or like Gemini 5 or whatever. And so I think that if you did this, there's a pretty big risk that like you get some traction, get like Series A or something, and then GPT-7 just gets this ability as a byproduct of his. It's a very, very natural thing for an assistant like ChatGPT to do. So I think this has a lot of potential to be one where it just kind of gets swept out from under you by like a model release.
I can respect that outlook. I think that's genius because I have been on the phone with Amazon and some other people over the past few days, so I know exactly what you mean. Just dealing with anything where you have to deal with a business through phone, it's not Yeah, that's going to be an extinct behavior if someone introduces the proper convenience mechanism. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like that though. And
Far enough in the future, there will not even be voice. Like once all this tech is on the business side and it's also on the consumer side, then it's like, why do we even need voice? Let's just have two text models like very quickly sort this whole thing out. But in the first 10, 20, 30 years, there will still be voice, and so that this kind of thing will. So, I mean, if you had like, if I had to pick something today to work on, it might be that. It's just the concern is it going to get
is it
just
is it
away by
defensible?
the next version? Yeah, because this would be like if somebody worked on, say, like, I mean, there used to be entire fields of NLP. Like, you could do your whole career in research on summarization of text, and no, no one's doing that anymore. No one's using a pre-2021 summarization thing. It's just like a dead field, and there's a variety of things that will end up being that way, where the large foundation model just does it for them and does it better. And even something like style transfer, like you probably saw the Ghibli stuff is baked into the foundation model now at OpenAI, and it does it pretty well. And so that's just the concern on the one hand. But to answer your question, yeah, there's this business side, those developer tools, and then consumer side. This is the one that I'm the most excited about.
That's fascinating. It's just funny too, also because you always had these interesting perspectives that I think Silicon Valley could have benefited from, but you just never chose to spend time out here. I think that's just funny.
Yeah, maybe at some
Excuse me.
point. I feel like I don't know. I don't think I like living there for a long period of time, but I do like visiting. I might be back there soon, actually, in the summer. There's
Well,
another work thing, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna go.
well, hit me up if you come out here.
Yeah, you could come have lunch at the
Um,
campus or something. Because you said you're in Menlo Park.
no, not right now. I'm at Los Altos Community Center, so it's Los Altos.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Yeah, but all right,
Is
man.
that where Netflix is? Los Altos.
Los. I don't know if they're here or not, but I don't think so. Los Altos
Oh,
is.
it's Los Gatos. Oh, yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah,
actually.
yeah, Los Altos. I didn't even know Netflix is there. I've been there to someone's house, like someone's big ass house, but yeah, I haven't been to Netflix. No. They just let you work on whatever you want, and then you just come to them with progress. Is that how that works?
Uh, to a degree, like there's clear major things we want to do, and then kind of figure out how are we going to get there. So there's a bit of autonomy.
All right, sounds good. All right, man. Good to catch up. Good to see you. Good to talk to you. You know, always good energy and things like that because we just align on just the things we're into. That's why I always am open to having conversation with you about anything where we just share certain values that I think a lot of people don't share. Whereas, you know, we both like the idea of making or compounding massive amounts of wealth and things of those natures, but there's still certain trade-offs that we're not willing to just abstract everything to just, you know, if you can automate it, then go ahead. We're not just that person. So, but,
You as well, man. The other day I
excuse
was talking to someone a story of you. I remember we took that flight to SF, and it's just the funniest thing, but one of the funniest things ever. You took out the bulletin, you're like, I'm going to own the airline, and all the people in the bulletin will be white.
I don't remember that, but that's funny.
You pulled out the bulletin, like the safety card, and it had like every single different like race and like people and all the kinds of stuff. I'm gonna own the airplane, and this all gonna be white. It's like funny shit. But
Yeah, no.
yeah, bro, it's always good to catch up, and feel free to hit me up with any of these questions. I'm happy to help you out when I can.
All right, for sure. Man, tell Ian I said what's up, man.
Sure, man. Yeah,
All right, have a good day. Yep.
I'll see you, bro.
All right, bye.